tell me why systems are awesome.
Wow, that's an easy answer for me, honestly. You look at you look at how this hobby started. It started with people writing things down, and it moved on to people refining that process by creating system after system. The power of systems is you sit down at the table and you go, we're using this, and if everyone's read it, you're good to go. Yeah, I mean, you got to tweak for what is this world we're playing in, and what is some things, lines and veils, or that sort of stuff. But yeah, it has quantified things so that if people talk about D&D fifth edition, everyone goes, "Yep, pretty much know what that is." Pretty good vibe, pretty good. I can find people to play that with because people are excited about it. There's another thing gets people excited. People look at books with systems plus worlds usually, but even look at GURPS and they go, "Wow, look what I could play with this." Or Savage World, look what I could play with this. Awesome. That's the getting energy up, huge for that. Yeah.
What's a system you've used in the past that you wouldn't maybe use today, maybe, but that you really, really enjoyed or just have fond memories for?
Yeah, Shadowrun for sure.
Yeah.
I've still got my original first edition. I've got my second edition, and I kept fifth edition. I think I sold all the rest because you can't have 6 editions in one game. Not really any need.
Yeah.
When you can get that, when we're talking about physical, you can get them on PDFs whenever you want now. Because, and I think there's 2 spectrums here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't think there's one line between role playing and games, right?
Right.
So your games end, I'm talking your board games, and your role playing end, I'm talking your real freeform stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's one line. I think there's 2 lines, and one is how gamey it is, and one is how role playing it is, right? Does that make sense?
Define how gamey something is.
How much you're using mechanics, how much you're, really focusing on that side of the game.
Mm-hmm.
They interfere with each other a bit, but you can actually go deep role playing with deep. Like in Shadowrun's the example. I used to spend hours making characters because the level of options in that system are amazing, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you look at a character, there's 2 ways to approach it. Yeah. One way to approach it is, I've got a concept for a character, let's go. And that's what we do.
Mm-hmm.
But the other way to approach it is, I've got a vague idea for a character and I'm going to look at the system and the system's going to give me options and I'm going to tweak it up.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the challenge in Shadowrun of creating a concept for a character and using the system to flesh it out. Right? So for example, I would start at the character and say, this character is able to walk through a cyberware scanner without setting it off, but he's he's an absolute murder machine. Right? You've got a very interesting challenge. And for me, the problem with this is I'm really, really good at making powerful characters in systems. Like I remember in the 4th edition or 5th edition, I think it was 4th edition, I made a character that couldn't die. Literally, I'd worked through this combination of factors, and
Hilarious.
let's call him Jad the Undying, because I'm going, you can't kill this fucking character. There's no way. I'm just worked out a combination of things that many can't do. And so I really love that. But every time I made a character like that, I had to dial them back to reasonable. What I thought was reasonable, because I always pushed it too far, pushed the system too far. And so I find the system, for me, incredibly distracting for that reason.
Yeah.
I mean, I could sit down and have fun making a Shadowrun character for 2 hours right now. I would enjoy it. I wouldn't play them. It would be pointless. But
I think that's interesting because, like, I don't know why. Like, I have a shitty short-term memory, like I always have. It's not because of the dope. That's not helping. Because I'm fairly blabby. I feel like anyone would say yes to that.
And you're a good person to talk to on a podcast for that very reason.
Man, like, oh, dude, yeah, I know. But like, so I can't keep all that shit in my brain. I'm shitty at math. I worked in software development, but I'm shitty at math. That will shock almost everyone, except people that are shitty at math that work in software development. So I bounced off D&D because I hated making the character. I just wanted to get in because I'm like, I just want to play through it. So the gamification for me was more like, what game can I just bop into shit? Now, you have played tons of games, and I had a specific journey trying to find my game, so I didn't play all the games. I read them all, and I was like, no. Like, where did you go with that?
What is the game that you would go back to if you were of that journey? That still would excite you and interest you.
It really wouldn't. I really wouldn't. And the reason is, well, we can't take. We've said we have to. We can't talk about our own games. So, like, I really wanted a way. When I make a character, I care about like a couple things. I care not at all about the math, and I'm like, I want to explore these two things or this thing.
Yeah.
And it's not like I want to be a sexy vampire and like, like it's never that.
I'd do that if it was camp. If it was funny, sexy vampire, I would do it like a sexy vampire in an environment where that doesn't make sense. But like I would do that. But like just ordinary.
I always gave Seventh shit because he's like, okay, except I want to play a fae and I want to have a dragon. And I was like, go fuck yourself, man. You snowflake.
You have to meet the world.
But but like the interesting part for the character, right? Like, so it depends if you're playing or GMing, right? Like when you're playing, for me, I want to explore some simple shit and let it expand and figure out. Because I was always wanting to. I do get into the world, right? Like I get into the role-playing games are being in a band to me because I was in a band forever.
Yeah.
And like I want to feed off my bandmates, right? And I want to play the song and this, or the story, or like I've never found anything that's more like being in a band than tabletop role playing, personally. So, but I don't care. I don't care. I just immediately bounced off the math, right? Because I don't like math, and it's like,
and I think this is the barrier to entry, right? Because I think there's a whole bunch of people who bounce off the mouth and don't stay, and I think that's a crying shame. This is why you need diversity in play style. Like I played that deep. I've played every edition of Shadowrun.
Mm-hmm.
I played all of them. I totally, actually, maybe is it a sixth now? I haven't played sixth. I haven't played Anakin.
I've never played Shadowrun. Know nothing about it.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet world. It's the system that people complain about. So it's one of those ones where the system is. But when I played it, I loved it. But I realized it was distracting me. It was distracting me from what I was enjoying more, and so that's why I pushed it back. But I get why people like that. Like this is this is why I think you need a diversity of games. Again, power of games. It's easy to write a lot of games. There's so many games out there right now. You can find You can find almost everything to meet your need. I couldn't find it. I had to build my own. I'm saying, but
I agreed.
you know,
I totally agree.
there is the
But we're not
small
talking
numbers
about
who
our own
can't find it.
games ever in this
No,
episode.
no, but we're the minority, right? Most people are able to find something that's a game to meet their needs, and that's good.
So I was just asked, like, does it bug you that? Because I was like, no, I'm. If the hobby is 1% of the world, which might be a gift, I don't know. The games I like are the 1% of that 1%, and they're like, does that make you mad? Does that bother you? And I was like, does it bother you?
That's a good question. Does it bother you? So you tell me first, and then I'll go and answer that.
I literally had to think about this for a second because I was like, it doesn't necessarily bother me, but you just touched on why it bothers me. Is why the only reason it bothers me is no one. It's really almost impossible to find my game or your game, which we're not talking about. And I could have really used that, right? Like, I was I'd been like, my path was actually pretty direct, I think. Check my path. Like D&D, obviously. World of Dungeons. Eye-opening.
Yeah.
Briefly flirting with 2400.
Yeah. Cool. Very cool.
Into FKR.
Yep.
And then I'm like, I need a little more scaffolding than that.
Yeah.
My game.
Exactly. And I think, this is I don't get annoyed by people doing things that they love. Carry on.
No, never.
Like however you want. Yeah. What I get annoyed about is that, there's only one reason I'm on this podcast, and there's only one reason I publish Named, and and that reason is it took me decades to find what I wanted. And if there's 2 people in the world that I can help find it faster, I will be satisfied that I've made a contribution to role playing.
I totally agree. Also, are you saying I'm smarter than you?
Yes, 100%. Well, with a caveat, right? I was living the arse end of nowhere and virtually no
but
internet
also,
when I started.
Yeah, but you were trying everything, and I was just
yeah. And
this is both of our personalities. You will try everything, and I'm like, fuck that thing. Just immediately.
In the 90s, I was playing. We played Black Box in the 90s, and we played. That first session of Black Box was so good. And then I made up this system I called real-time rules. And the concept is in the 90s. And the concept was that you could, that it would go as fast as it could happen in the real world, instead of I'm looking at the table and I'm looking at, it was a speed up mechanic. So effectively, I guess I was close to it in the 90s because I had the concept of names and I had that, but I just hadn't put it together. And I was distracted by all the shiny things. Like, I was distracted by the awesome systems. Apocalypse World, this is amazing. And we took bits of Apocalypse World and used them. And
Apocalypse was amazing. I want to make that clear. Like, we shit on a lot of games last
No, it is still amazing.
Oh, it's fucking amazing.
Yeah, it's just not for me amazing. It's amazing for someone else, and that's cool.
Well, no, we just grew out of it, right? Like, that's very normal. Yeah. It's fine.
We evolved out of it. Yeah.
I also want to come back.
We took bits and moved on. Yeah.
Yeah. What you said is exactly what I'm talking about. Where, like, I would just like, I'll phrase it for myself. When I was playing D&D, I was like, yeah, I'm just not good at this. Because I always loved D&D, right? Like, I always loved.
Yeah.
I didn't love D&D. I loved fantasy adventure.
Yeah,
right?
which is why you have the Young Adventurers Guide on your shelf.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
And
It's cool.
so, but I thought it was me. I thought it was a problem with me because I was
Yeah.
bouncing off shit and I was like, this sucks. I don't like this. But like, this is the game. So if I don't like the game, there's something wrong with me. And that's where that pisses me off. And that's why I'm like, that was the answer for me. It's like,
Yeah.
am I mad? I'm only mad that I might not be able to reach younger me and
Yes,
be like, oh yeah,
younger
there's
me.
another way, bro.
Exactly.
You're good.
Exactly.
all
I'm the
good.
same. If I only could go back to younger me, I could say, hey, you had 20 awesome years of gaming,
Fun.
but let's cut through that shit, go back to some of your original designs and actually leverage them. And you'll have those 20 years could have been more awesome gaming.
And the reason is because like you're playing the game and you're like, that didn't work.
Yeah.
In right, like, and when we record actual plays, this is really why I record actual plays. Always, I record everything I do, even if I don't publish it. It's because I record everything when I play music too, because I really want to listen back and check. And I'm like, yeah, that doesn't really work, or this just fell dead. And like, why is that? Right? Like, why did that suck? And it's like, it's because I bounced off this fucking rule. This rule just got in our way.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
This is good because let's take this somewhere. Can I just say one more thing? But I want to go somewhere.
Yeah, go.
This is why I punch systems, right? I punch systems because systems are the big dog, right? There's the assumption. And I think to break through to a broader range of people, to increase the diversity in the hobby, you've got to cut through the fundamentals and go, is that really true? Is it true that you need a system or not? Because I don't think you do. And I think for the 1% of people who are going, yeah, this system really is chapping my bits and I can't find my perfect system, that's freeing to go, actually, you don't necessarily need to have a game system. You don't need to buy one, create a fully detailed, fleshed out one. You can just play, like that. It's another option.
But no, I'm stopping you. You've lost the theme and the thread. What you're saying? Why systems suck? Why are systems awesome?
I've just said why systems are awesome, but I'm just making a point that why I'm punching at systems is because let's challenge all of our assumptions. Do you need a GM?
Yeah.
Can you play? Is it possible to play solo? All of those things need to be punched at. Is just the point I'm making. But let's move on because let's talk about if you were going to start. So leaving all that aside, good. We've talked about systems. We've talked about how they're good and useful. Leaving all that aside, how would you start with a conversation play without using either of our systems? If you were starting in the hobby today and you wanted to start in a conversation style, start with the basis in conversation instead of the basis in any other thing, how would you build it? What would you do? What would you do?
I'm not sure I understand. Like, would I gather people together and like where are we? I don't understand the starting point.
So you got a bunch of people together and what you're trying to do is instead of starting with a system, you're saying, I'm going to start with a conversation and I'm going to build on it. How do you do that without just pointing out?
Go to a book.
Go and read my toolkit. We can't say that.
Right,
you got to do something.
I'll walk through it. So my immediate thing is like, so we're at a cocktail party.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, yeah.
I'm not talking. There's no other discussion of why we're here or whatever. And I'm just going up to each individual player saying, hi, who are you? That's where I would start. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So you're just.
Do you want me to keep going?
You're starting with the conversation. Let me throw something in because this is where I think I'm coming from this. So you made this excellent point, right? I think there's a critical thing to understand if you're going to start with a conversation instead of starting with a system. And that is, you've got to reflect on what you're doing. And I think recording it is amazing.
Oh,
So
yeah.
if you had a if you're role playing just as a conversation, you're starting with that, you would find, and if you listen back at it, you would find the bits where you'd go, that didn't work. Just like you said with the music, that didn't really work. Why didn't that work? Do we need a mechanic so we avoid that problem in the future? Is the mechanic going to add value to the situation? I think reflecting is really powerful. And I think part of the problem with role playing is people don't reflect. But when you watch actual plays, and there's this guy, I won't say his name, but what he does is he watches other people's actual plays and he reads their principles of play and he points to
that's dope.
between their play.
Oh, I would.
Yeah.
I have done that. I have literally done that, but in a different way.
Yeah. And so I think this is the thing, because I think, it's this thing they said about third edition D&D. It's that they got someone who wasn't a player, was a partner of one of the designers, and they said, "Oh, what do you think of this?" They said, "It's 30 minutes of fun in 3 hours." Right?
Mm-hmm.
If you listened to what you're doing with it critically, if you started with a conversation, you listened to it, you said, "Yeah, the conversation really stalled at this point." How could we lift that conversation up with a mechanic? What could be, when I say mechanic, a thing we do. Next time we get in that scenario, what are we going to do to avoid that? Yeah? It could be combat. It could be like, the combats just didn't seem, not balanced enough. Balanced is not a good word, but like the current combats didn't flow. We can either try and fix that in the way we do it, or we could add some mechanics or whatever. You see, I think that's a really powerful way to start with conversation. And I like this idea. I have this thing, cocktail parties example is good. And I think, because sometimes when people have said to me, "What's role playing? What are you talking about? What RPG is?" And I'll go, "Okay, you're an elf in a forest. Let's go." Like you can just do it with people. You can just have that conversation. And I think if you did that and recorded it, that would be an amazing way to kind of reflect on the bits that you needed the bits of the conversation that didn't work as well, that you could refine and you could effectively add mechanics like that. Because the way we do it right now, typically in the hobby, is a person sits alone in a room. I think there's play storming as well, which is you do this as a group. But generally a person sits alone in a room, comes up with some stuff, and then takes it to a group, and the group, is... there's a few people who are doing we add mechanics as we play kind of things, or play storming, where you're coming up with things as you play. They're not nil concepts, but they're very rare. And I think a playtest is like, here, I've done a thing, Whereas I think it should be, hey, again, you're starting with a system mindset in there. I think if you start with a conversation mindset, you're going, let's have a conversation where we pretend to be elves, and then we add, we reflect on it by listening back to it and going, what we could have done? We could have done this. Yeah.
Well, so what you're describing, would also be a very low budge. The simplest system I've ever seen that makes perfect sense is 50-50 from our
50-50 is good. We might need to
if you start
put a link
there,
to that because it's damn hard to find.
I found it. Yeah, it is really hard to find, but I found in a forum, right? Like just the text.
It's like in a Czechoslovakian forum. Or like
it's crazy. Yes. I was like, and I'm sure John's listening. Hi, John. How you doing? You should fucking put that on the itch, man. like, come on.
Yeah, it's good.
That is where you should start.
Yeah,
that is because you got to understand fictional positioning.
100%.
It's really hard to understand. Everyone says it. Everyone, right? Like I remember, early on, people were fictional positioning. I'm like, all right, what is that? And then you try to Google it. And you're not going to get it. You're not going to figure it out.
Yeah, Vincent has this great article about fictional positioning, and it kind of talking about why it doesn't necessarily work. And when I read that article, I went, "Oh my god, fictional positioning is for me."
Totally.
I think it's on his blog. Yeah, bring me all the fiction.
Okay,
this is.
Can we define it though? Because like, I don't want to talk about something and not define it.
Okay,
this was
cool.
really hard for me because it is hard to find. Right? You can't search for it. Yeah. You'll not find it.
Yeah. Can I put it? Can I start from a conversation perspective rather than a system?
Absolutely, obviously.
So you're having a conversation where you're pretending to be an elf, right? And you describe what the elf is doing, and that includes where they are, how they're positioned, every element that's relevant to the conversation, so everyone has full understanding. To me, that's fictional positioning. And then the connection point here is when you use a mechanic of random chance, instead of using numbers to adjust, so instead of taking that fictional position and turning it to, you're in the higher ground, so you get +1, you're using everyone's understanding or clarifying the fictional position, the location of everything and everyone, and the disposition of them to help with the mechanical role, rather than using any numerical things. That's how I would define it from a conversation perspective, off the cuff. What do you reckon?
It's really hard off the cuff because it is hard to describe, and anytime you find something that is hard to Google for or understand, it's because it's hard to define, and it's not because people. I think it almost certainly is because people don't really understand it, talk about it, but like, they also, it's just really hard to explain. In this case, it's easiest probably to say, like, the easiest example of it is you're positioning yourself for maybe tactical advantage, right? Like, something like that. Like, that's not everything. It's the fictional positioning is literally everything, but like, everyone would understand that, I think.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Or is that
me? Exactly. And when you take a 50-50 approach to that, like you're tossing a coin or whatever, and even if you're not, if you're doing something slightly more complicated, because 50-50 isn't quite enough for me. So I remember this situation when we're playing a game, gangsters, bad guys inside the room. The character's trying to chock the door shut because the door's open into the corridor for some reason. And so the plan was that they would chock the gangsters in the room while they caught their boss and blah, blah, blah. So he's trying to chock the door, and the gangsters have Tommy guns and are firing through the door to kill him.
Yeah.
So to be clear on that fictional position, he was rolling to see if he could chock the door, and they were rolling to kill him.
Yeah.
That's where fictional positioning gets interesting. He took a chance, didn't pay off, died in the back of a plumber's van a few minutes later.
Sounds like a good death. That's good.
It was a good death. And it was a fun game and a good death.
And to talk about 50-50, because we've talked about it now a couple times without talking about it, explaining it. It's very simple. It's like 50-50 is a coin flip. So if you have a 50-50 chance
beforehand.
Yeah, but if you have a 50-50 chance for success, the only thing that matters is fictional positioning. That's the point of the exercise, right? Like you can boost your odds by manipulating the fiction. That's really what it is.
Yeah. And the example he uses in 50-50 is a classic. There's 3 swordsmen.
So good.
And he uses the example, you're a child who works at the inn, or you're a more experienced swordsman. Well, the fictional positioning plays out incredibly differently depending on who you are. And so the experienced swordsman, it's not, do these guys beat you, is not one of the 2 options. It's how quickly you beat them, And for the child, it's, do you use a rock to knock 3 dudes out? That is not on the table.
Or do you accept it, right? Or do you accept your fate?
And I think, I think it's like, the child, there's the tactics that you use completely change what happens in those 50-50 odds. Vincent Baker did a great post on this somewhere as well, where he just started talking about how we're having a conversation and we start adding mechanics. What mechanics do we need, and what flavour do those mechanics bring, and how do they So I think there's a thing, reflect on it. But I really like what you said about recording. I hadn't thought of that before. If you recorded it, you could reflect on it. And just let me add one more thing here. People talk a bit about the game system is like a player at the table as an analogy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's a weird analogy because they're not really.
I don't like that analogy at all.
Okay, well, I'm going to double down on it.
Cool.
So you don't got to like this. So I think instead of, because the thing when you reflect is you could be going like, well, you did this and you did that, and maybe we could do more of this and whatever. I think you have to stop and you have to reflect on the game system, right? And you have to say, well, you're starting with a conversation, but even if you start with a conversation, you use some mechanics. You have to stop and go, so let's look at that mechanic. What was it making us do? Do we want to make it? Do we want that mechanic to be encouraging us to do this? Do we want it to, whatever? And so as an exercise, personify the game system. Yeah, personify them. Let's call him Tim. Tim, you really pissed me off tonight. I didn't like what Tim made me do.
No, so this is different. I like this.
Yeah, so this is, I wrote something about this because I was trying to get this idea out of my head. So I think it'll come out in Play Worlds, maybe 4, not Play Worlds, Unnamed Worlds 4, is think about them as a system. Think about the game system as a person and go, yeah, I'm not having fun playing with this person. I'm not having fun playing with Shadowrun, the person, because Shadowrun's all up in our business and tell us what to do all the time. And Shadowrun makes us do all this maths. And you see what I mean? Like if you personify it, becomes a different conversation and you can draw it out in a more.
I like that. I don't like you presented it like, oh, well, there's this other person here. And I was like, that's terrible. But like,
it's a way to say that it's a way to say that the mechanics you're using are changing the conversation.
Yes,
by personifying them. Yeah.
So I guess I just didn't need that exercise because I was just like, every time you're in the middle of something and it just isn't working, you feel it especially when you're the GM, right?
Yeah, but if I was going to start again, I would do what you talked about today, which is I would record it. I mean, wow,
so good. Yeah,
it would be so good, wouldn't it? Don't you reckon? Like,
100%.
Yeah, I can see why that's not working.
I literally do it.
You could reflect back on. Yeah,
I have hundreds of games recorded, actual plays that I've never put up.
Yeah. Do you know this is the other thing I do? I listen to these episodes at least twice.
Oh, yeah.
Because I find. Yeah, I listened to the first one to go, have I said anything, or either said anything super offensive that you haven't cut?
I've literally, I don't think I have cut shit from us, but never necessarily from you, but I've cut a lot of shit from me.
Well, that's fine. You cut yourself to, do whatever you want.
Yeah, so I look good and you look terrible. No, that's literally the opposite of how it goes, which is hilarious.
No, but then I listened to it again. Right. So I remember I listened to the first episode and went, I'm agreeing with you too much verbally, which was what I do in a face-to-face conversation, but it makes for bad podcasting. So I tried to cut and do less, right? So I was reflecting on it. But yeah, I listened to it once. It's just like a quick, how's this sound? And then I wait a week or 2 weeks and I listen to it again. And I just find
totally different.
It sparks my thinking. I get much deeper thinking from it. So I don't care if anyone else is listening.
I do the same thing.
Like you say, this is the podcast that we want to listen to, and I do.
Yeah, but so I'll even take it further. Like, you agree that recording actual sessions is really key. I've known this forever. But the podcast is also very important.
Oh, yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Like recording our bullshit and then like reflecting on it, because talking it out really helps you solidify your brain.
Yeah.
It's just, this has always been very clear to me, but from different points of view, from musician to I don't know, game player, I guess, or I guess game designer, which I'm not really. I had the same distinction like when I wrote songs when I write songs. I write songs because I need something to play, right? Like
Mm.
I write games because I need something to play. It's the exact same thing
Yeah,
to me,
yeah,
right? Like that's
yeah.
cool.
And
I'm not a
I think,
songwriter because I'm not that guy. I'm not trying to sell my songs to other people. I'm not trying. I'm really not trying to sell. If I was trying to sell games, we would fucking be fixing D&D, and that's all this podcast would be about.
I
Sorry,
had
I'm
thought
not
for
shitting on
years that
games.
I would try and do. Well, but I think there's another problem here that isn't game systems, right?
Yeah.
And that is, it's cool to design mechanics. It's super cool.
Oh man, totally.
Yeah, yeah.
So
And the problem
I
is,
yeah. Go ahead.
you read some person's systems and like they got drowning and falling in them, or they've got
Oh my god.
like a crafting system, or why is this here? It's not adding to my play at all. Why have you put it in? Because it was cool to design, and that's cool. Design it if it's cool for you to
It's
design it.
super cool.
But yeah, I think one of the big problems we have is that game designers. Here, I'm going to say something offensive now. So you ready? Now I've
God
smashed
damn
system
it.
plus time. I'm going after someone else. I'm going after game designers now.
It's okay.
I think people just are trying to be too clever by half.
Oh fuck yeah.
Yeah, like you go and you play a board game, you're like, this is genius. The way these mechanics work together is amazing. You come to role playing with that, and then people are twiddling all the fiddly knobs like in Shadowrun,
Yeah.
instead of, and it's pushing people away because it's too much and whatever. In fact, maybe you need a board game kind of design thing. You've got to have this concept, like it's a track building game, and you got to boil it down to its essence, and that's the thing you put out. Whereas I think, you see these things like, yeah, we've got this really clever system of blah, blah. Anyway.
So I've got something for this.
think,
So I've told you I'm on a server.
well, yeah.
I'm not sure I want to talk about I'm not going to name the server, but it's
Just say it's a server with a bunch of cool game designers, yeah?
Oh, super cool. I will point out that Jason Morningstar is on the server. Because it's a very Jason Morningstar type of server. They give many fucks about mechanics, right? Like,
and Jason has this style, which is, I'm going to create a very specific curated experience using the system.
Yeah. He's so fucking good. Yeah. I'm so impressed with the shit he does. And yet, so like I'm talking about my game, which I'm not going to name and we're not going to talk about. But I was talking about a magic system that I've written, right? Like, and this magic system, it's a conversation first. It's a complete narrative magic system that like, because we write systems that are conversation first, that mechanics lay gently on and quickly on, right? Like, and then get the fuck out of the way. And so it was not lost upon me that I was asking people that give lots of fucks about mechanics how to because there's a section on the server to get some feedback about your game that you're working on. I'm like, I actually want to see what someone that's doing kind of the opposite of what I'm doing would say, expecting crickets. And I got mostly crickets, but I got some people that were trying, and that's cool. And they had some interesting the classic stuff. But then I got one guy, and this is what I literally was hoping for. I was like, man, if I just get one person on here that gets it, and we'll just like unleash a fury of crazy cool shit on me. And I got that.
Oh yeah. And this is
so cool.
Yeah. Jason Morningstar, give me more cool toys to play with. Yeah. Give me more cool ideas I can steal. Yeah.
But I thought it was so this is why I bring it up, because I was like, it's so cool to ask people that are really into mechanics. Well, like, obviously some people are like, they're like suggesting more mechanics, but a lot of them are it's just like, no. What about if you think about mechanics as removing mechanics or unnecessary mechanics, the opposite of what you guys normally do. And here's a fucking, you can just go to town on my horse shit, right? Like that was really interesting to me. I was very interested in that. Does that resonate? Does that make sense?
Absolutely. And this is a critical point I reached, I think, in my journey as a designer, where I realized it wasn't about how cool the mechanic was. It's about how it works at the table is the only thing that mattered. It doesn't matter, because I've written so many cool mechanics over the years, and a couple of them I still use, but many of them are like, yeah, this is so cool. And then you're sitting at the table playing and people are going, this isn't quite working. You go, yeah, but it's cool, right? It's so cool. You should do it anyway because it's just, and it ties this together with this, and it's just, no.
But I get it, though, that it's so much easier to talk about mechanics than it is like vibe or feel or how it works, right? Because you can't tell, but like you can, and I think that's cool. Like, just for the record, I am not shitting on the server whatsoever because I like this.
No. I mean, it says like I should probably join.
You probably should. It's weird though. It's weird.
I listen to the Associated podcast with delight every time it comes on because it's capturing exactly the sort of stuff.
Yeah.
The bit that I care about. Yeah.
Okay, it's Dice Explorer. I don't think it matters if we say what it is. Dice Explorer, it's cool.
I don't think it matters. We haven't said anything bad. I
wasn't going to shit on it or anything. Like, no, I think it's a cool server. Like,
it's a cool.
I just didn't want to out someone. I don't know. Like, I think it's a cool.
No,
that's a safe space where you can. At least I felt safe because I'm the outsider at that point because I don't write those kind of games, and so I thought that was really cool.
Yeah. So can I? Yes, agreed. I'd listen to the podcast if you're listening and you're not listening to Dice Explorer, go and listen to it because
it's a lot of mechanics, right? Like it's very mechanic oriented, and that's cool.
But why I love it is because they do it one by one, right?
I dig it too.
Because the problem with coming at things from a system review perspective is you're talking about the whole system. You're talking about many mechanics, and you're clouding the interaction between the conversation and the mechanics. And I think Dice Exploder can get to that in a way that, like System Mastery is another one I listen to. They're getting individual mechanics as they go, and I enjoy it quite a lot, but it's not the same as Dice Exploder where you really delve. Totally. Yeah. Okay. So the other thing I want to talk about is I just want to mention, I think our last podcast got a few people talking. A few compliments, but also a few people going.
Let me apologize up front, maybe. I don't know.
I thought we were going to apologize.
Well, like this was I want to blame you. I'm just going to throw you under the bus because you literally sprung that on me as like, okay,
yeah,
I can shit on a system if you want me to shit on a system. I promise you.
You have to check your damn fundamentals, and system is the thing you need to check. Anyway, so what I'm seeing people do is they're writing like principles of how they play. Right?
That's cool.
And I am going to refer now to the limited edition hardback.
No, you can't. No, you cannot. No.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to read out something in the principles section. Right?
Okay, fine.
So I have a whole series of principles here.
This is not our games. This is just a principle that may or may not be in a book that is a game.
We're talking about, yeah. So this is what... well, now I'm reading it. Maybe it's not there. I think it's in the start. Yeah, I don't know where to find it. I think I wrote in there somewhere. We wrote down a set of principles when we started, and we never used them again.
Yeah.
Cheers.
That's classic.
So I think principles are good. I think principles are a good thing to do, and I think they help with, if you're going to start a conversational style, set down a set of principles. Because, or any style, anything, even if you
Wait,
use system,
are they
set down the
like
principle.
are they rules on a server, on a Discord server that people read maybe once if you're lucky? And
Well, yeah, but if you write your own, I think it's the act of writing them rather than the act of
gotcha.
and perhaps using them for reflection. I think principles are a good thing because
Agreed.
because essentially when we did this, we had this kind of long conversation with the groups that I was building a system with, and we.
You just said the name of your game. I'm winning. I now am 1 point up on you. You're negative. I don't know. Do I get a point, or do you get a point subtracted? I think I get a point. I get a point.
I think I get it. No, are we going to do demerits? Don't I get demerits?
No, I'm winning. No, when you fuck up, I get the ball. I am now winning this podcast.
Well, you're going to get some more points in a minute. So just be ready.
I'm going to start like making you do it. Like, wait, what's the name of that game that you wrote? Wightbred? I can't remember. It starts with an M or something. I don't know.
It's not M. You know it.
I'm just going to troll you into winning this podcast.
It's good. It's good. Let's move on. Let's talk about, this is where I want to give you more points. I like that we've now got a point system, right?
Oh, this is great. We're gaming the system, literally.
We're gaming the system. We have just added the minimum required mechanics to this conversation, which is that we win points. Okay.
Awesome.
I want to talk about. The thing I want to talk about is that you were right twice.
Wow.
So that's 2 more points for you, right?
What? Wait, what? This never happens to me.
You were right twice. No?
Wow.
So we were talking last time about my extended weapons list for Blood and Toil.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
The World War II. Yeah. And I was going, I'm putting the whole thing in the long version. And I tell you why, you're right, and I'm not. I'm going to simplify it down to a couple of pages.
Wait.
But
I need to record this. Wait, we are recording this.
We are recording it. Yeah, but okay. You know what's that's the good news is you're right. But here's the bad news. It wasn't because you told me that I didn't do it. It's not like the zine where you were right and I went and did it.
Yeah,
it was, I said, yeah, whatever. And then you know what I did? Because I think issue 4, space, sci-fi, something. We got to do it. Are you ready?
What?
We're doing space next. We can do space next? Sci-fi?
Yes.
No, we have too much content. We just have too much content.
That's cool.
I'm already going, I can't fit any of these in. Things that I've written and had scheduled in issues 3 and 4, I now have to put back to issue 5 and 6 because we literally don't have room.
Yeah.
Like we have way too much content.
We're not sure that space is going to be 4, right?
What's that?
We're not sure it's space for 4, right? Like that might be 5.
I'm going space. I want to lock space in.
Let's go space. I'm in. What were you saying about Paul?
Yeah.
Paul said what? He was bitching at you?
He said that I was too prolific. It was no, he didn't say it as pejorative. He said you're very prolific. But then he rolled out 3 things in the last couple of weeks. So I don't know.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, we've
That's
got too much stuff. And I found this cool dude, Pete Jones, and got one of his things in. He's got a lot of podcasts on, and he just did this cool thing that really resonated with me. So we've got that as a quick start as well.
Cool.
So we got new peeps coming in board as well.
Right on.
Yeah,
compete.
He's he reached out to me, put a post on the thing. If you go to the Unnamed Worlds itch, he'll be there.
I'm pretty sure I have 3 points now. You've mentioned 3 things that we were not supposed to talk about.
Yeah.
Shit. I am dunking on you.
We talked about not talking about our game systems because otherwise we're selling our own shit.
So a zine is okay to talk about? The zine name?
Yeah, because it's worlds. It's not systems.
This is...
Well,
I have no referee here.
You should have read the fine print.
I have no referee here because I should. This is a foul. This is I'm 3 points up. I'm just like destroying Wightbred on this fucking episode.
I already told you were 3 points up before.
This is fair.
You've only just realized you're 3 points up.
Oh yeah.
All right,
I was just like, all right, cool.